Happy Tuesday. It is November 28th, 2023. These roads are slick. I gotta be careful. Man, it snowed Sunday, and like right now, I mean, I'm sliding. There's a snowplow coming. I just gotta be careful here. Jeez. This is crazy. Yeah, it snowed Sunday, and we haven't had any snow since. However, the remnant of the snow, I mean, with blowing overnight over the roads, because there was a lot of blowing wind yesterday, blowing overnight. It was cold, got down to like 10 degrees last night, so that stuff's all freezing. You know, what moisture there is freezing on the road. And well, now the sun comes out. We're only going to get to like, I don't know, 20 degrees today or something. So it's going to melt, and then it's still going to be frozen. I don't know, it's a weird process, but they salt the roads up. That's why the cars get all ruined here in the north. Salty. So when you're looking for a car, everybody says, oh, that's from the Southwest, or that's a Florida car, Southern car. You know, because you don't have all the salt on the roads to eat up all the metal. Anyway, welcome to the prelude to winter. After this, though, it's going to be nice. It's going to be like close to 50, I think, toward the end of the week. It's going to be rainy, so all this will be gone, all this snow. We got about 2 to 3 inches, depending upon where you were. Anyway, you probably don't want to hear about the forecast in Illinois, or I should say what happened in Illinois. Would that be the forecast or the postcast? Not sure. A lot of casting going on. Central casting. I've heard that one before. A lot of casting of spells. Hollywood casting spells. Waving the Hollywood stick. Oh my goodness. So we had a big full moon. We saw the crypto markets kind of get rocky, and some people predicted that the next, 2 or 3 days around that full moon, so between now and the end of today, tomorrow maybe, markets would get a little wonky, kind of go down a little bit and have some negative energy. So it seems like that may be the case. I haven't really paid attention to traditional markets. Oh look, it's Rudolph. You ever see those vans or those cars where they have the reindeer antler on the side and the Rudolph nose on the front? Well, yeah, I just passed one. Anyway, notice that we don't hear much about the Ukraine war anymore. It's almost as if the funding dried up. Imagine that. Same thing with this Israeli-Hamas conflict. We've seen a ceasefire. It amazes me that you can be at war and you can have all these problems and yet agree to have a ceasefire and then just return hostages and exchange hostages and prisoners and that kind of thing. I shouldn't even try and roll this window down. In fact, I don't think I will. I'm gonna have to get out. Dang it. All right. Excuse me. I'll check this mail. You can hear the crunch of the ice. Cell phone. Anywhere. All right, get buckled up. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. First world problems, right? Got to get out of the car to get the mail. It's a burden. All right, let me get this defrost going. All right, just rambling about weather and bad stuff, but the crypto markets, yeah, you're looking at that a little rocky, but Bitcoin's held pretty steady. I mean, Litecoin has too, even though Litecoin's at a very low value. It's hovered around that 68, 69, 70 kind of support range. I kind of look for that possibly have a move here by the end of the year, a pretty good move up, a breakout for Litecoin. If it doesn't, then not looking that great for it as far as the price anyway. I'm not worried about it as far as utility and use case. I mean, the price will come. It's just how long does it take, because it's on a long-term track, and at some point it'll explode and it'll surprise everybody, actually shock everybody. That could happen in the spring. And I keep talking about this Clif data, bell of the spring ball. You know, he's had that in his data for a long time and it's never fulfilled. So, I mean, you know, Mimblewimble will have been out in May of next year for 2 years. It may be out in mobile wallets by then, which is a huge thing, having privacy, security, and mobile wallets, given everything that's happening right now. with governments kind of clamping down, wanting to control, wanting to have all your information, wanting to know what you're doing all the time. I mean, there's stories all the time about, you know, and I can't even think of them right now, but, you know, I'm constantly seeing stories of where, oh, you know, your information, your identity, we want this, we want that. Don't know. So anyway, that may fulfill some Clif-I data. If you don't know about Clif-I, go to halfpasthuman.com. What he did was ran a computer software that would go out to like message boards, forums, websites, and it would pick up on shifts in language. Like you think about Twitter, now X, look at that shift. You think about that and what people post. It's a very emotional platform where people, it's like people driving in a car, yelling at other people. They're not talking face to face, so they say all kinds of BS that they can't back up. And so it's an emotionally charged platform where they just, get over, you jerk, you know, flip them the bird, figuratively speaking, pun intended. But you have a lot of people on there who are just emotionally charged and they don't hold back. And then you think, would these people talk to me and talk to other people in real life the same way? I mean, I doubt it. But like I said, it's like driving in a car conversation, talking crap because you're behind glass. So he's picking up on those things and those changes, those spikes in emotional energy and changes in the language specifically. And he would get a big enough set of this and kind of collate it and be a big compilation, and it would kind of be predictive of things that are going to happen because it leaks out of us in an emotionally charged way that we're not aware of necessarily, but he's able to fine tune and pick up on, and it's been pretty accurate many times. So he had language in the data that said Litecoin will be the belle of the spring ball. And it's just what spring though? You know, it's been years ago. And so a lot of his data that has been years ago, forecasting from years ago, language, is starting to come to fruition. So a lot of this stuff's delayed. And it's just amazing that you're picking up on all this human subconsciousness. And the premise is that everybody's psychic. Okay, and we leak it out. And so that's what he picks up on. So it'll be interesting to see if it fulfills that data. Let me back that car up. Back that bug up. All right, so you've got, hit something. Oh my. All right, here we go. So we've got that, but I also noticed something else. Stephen Colbert, a late night talk show host, he, I noticed recently in a post on Twitter, on X, that he's going in for an emergency appendectomy and has to cancel, I think, a week's worth of shows. And I remember in Clif's data a few months back, he was talking about it in one of his audio chats that he does on Substack, I think it is. And he was talking about, it's going to be an indicator, he calls it, I can't even think of the word, can't even think of the term, a marker, time marker. What the frick does he call it? Y'all know if you listen to him. Jeez, this is unreal. Getting old, forgetting, slipping. I need a pill. You know, what was it? There's a pill that, you know, my memory's clearer now that I've taken this pill. That's what I need. I can't remember the name of the pill. So there you go. I'm not going to take it anyway. Pharmaceutical industrial complex. Not going to do it. Military industrial complex. F them. Banking industrial complex. F them. Financial industrial complex. F them. No, I'm not going to do that. So in the Clif-I data, he had mentioned that there will be a late night talk show host involved in some sort of accident or something. And it's going to tie back to the dark side, the powers that be, you know, bad players, vampires, essentially, in some weird way that makes them cover things up when they don't want to, and it starts exposing them more. It's a temporal marker. That's the word for it. So you got to talk and use your hands. Temporal marker for kind of this ramping up into this new period that will fulfill other language. And so I'm curious if that's his temporal marker. He's not listening to me, but I know some people who watch me might be able to reach out to him and say, hey, is this a temporal marker, the Stephen Colbert thing, going in for emergency appendectomy surgery? I think it's appendectomy, appendix. That may be the temporal marker because he does have ties to covering up some of the, let's just say the Arkansas presidential person, you know, Arkansas-sided. He's got ties to that, and he's got ties to Podesta too, I think. So that would be an interesting thing. And it just made me think, okay, maybe something's going on, and that fulfills some of his language, which then gives us insight into other things that were, seen at that time in the language, what's coming next. There's still out there some big event to happen between now and April that's a shocking event that don't know what it is. I mean, you saw the crypto viewing guys, you saw Clif High picking up on it. I mean, and at the time it's like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. What is this? What is this event? And it's interesting with the language, how Cliff picks up on it. I remember he picked up on there's going to be this tsunami. There's going to be this earthquake, something like that. An earthquake. He picked up on the tsunami thing, but it was talking about an earthquake, a massive earthquake. It's going to wipe out all this stuff in 2008. Ends up being not a physical earthquake as he thought. It ended up being a financial earthquake that started destroying capital and destroying businesses. And so the language is interesting how it leaks out. We don't have, it can be figurative language. It's an earthquake. Well, it's a financial earthquake. So we'll see what happens. This shocking event, this thing that comes along. I mean, who knows what it is, but they're seeing it. And we'll just see what happens when it manifests itself into reality. And we're all tuned into that if we just look inside and we meditate, we trust ourselves, we get into a peaceful place. And I mean, we'll be able to pick up on that stuff because that's where this data is coming from, a lot of it. And so I think individually we can pick that stuff up. We're able to see those things or be intuitive or in tune with those things, in touch with those things, and plan accordingly. You may say, I just don't feel like traveling for the next 3 months. That's me for 12 months out of the year. But it may be you just got a feeling, I need to be around here. I need to do something, or I need to, store this, or I need to buy this. I need to have this, those kind of things. It's like, I need to put new tires on the car. They're getting a little low. Maybe I should do that. You just have those intuitive feelings. They come up. Next thing you know, boom, they happen. I remember talking to Mitch when I was dropping him off at the airport, talking about the furnace. And I talked about this in a video like a week or so ago. But our heater, our furnace, I said, I remember, because we're talking about his heat. I said, ours runs this way. And I remember one time I had to fix a relay on it and the time delay, sequence thing. And wasn't that bad, but I had to do the research, figure it out, and find the parts. So I keep those parts on hand. And I was talking to him about this. And then a month later, I have to replace the part. It's almost like, why did I even talk about it? Well, I was leaking out the future and didn't know it. And sure enough, and Paulie P, he says, certain things like, don't talk about that stuff, you'll manifest it. And so maybe that's part of it too. Maybe we are manifesting a reality, or maybe we're just in tune with what that reality is or is to be. And it's not a time thing. It's just, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. You don't know when it's going to happen, but you say it and you put it out there, and because it's out there, because it's coming. Who knows? Philosophical debate. Are we manifesting it, or are we seeing it before it happens? So that was just one of those things. And sure enough, it happened, and I had to fix it, and I had the part on hand. And so I have one more of those parts on hand, so I ordered 2 more. I like to be stocked on this stuff because if it's wintertime and you need something, who knows? It might be on an Amazon delivery truck that gets looted. You've seen that. You used to have porch pirates where they'd come up and they'd pirate your package, and take your package away. No, they take, when the truck stops now, they'll go and just raid it, and, a group of mob of people just take all the boxes out, whatever box they can, and run off with it. FedEx trucks, Amazon trucks, UPS trucks. This is where we're at. No accountability. Which gets me to a last point. I just need to wrap this up. Gets me to a last point. You think about retail right now, and you see all the people, they just walk in, they take the clothes, and they leave retail. Same with these UPS drivers. What are these drivers going to do? Are they going to go shoot somebody over that? Probably not. They're like, it's insured. Let's get out of the way. They're probably taught to get out of the way. Don't do it. Now rewind 50 years. Okay, if it's your company. See, these corporations, it doesn't matter, because the corporations, they're insured, blah, blah, blah. The employees, they have no skin in the game. They're like, just get out of the way. I don't want to get shot. Don't want any of this. Don't want to get beat up, get knifed. However, if it's your company, if it's your livelihood, if it's your package store, if it's your pizza parlor, if it's your pharmacy, it's a whole different thing, because you do have skin in the game. You've worked for it, for your family, with your effort. It's not a corporate infrastructure. It's you, and they're stealing from you. there would be different consequences, I think. Then you would see people standing up and saying, no, F you, and people get blasted. That would teach us a very serious lesson. Right now, that does not happen. It would be a different world, wouldn't it? All right, and that's why we have certain amendments. All right, I love you all. Hope you have a wonderful day. Trust yourselves. Know that all the truth is in you, and we leak out the truth. And if we pay attention, and if we're in tune at the right level, we'll be prepared for whatever comes. Just know that, and be at peace with that, and prepare for that. And before Litecoin starts popping off at the end of the year, I can't guarantee that that's happening, but I got a feeling that it might. I don't know. Maybe I'm leaking out the future. I would look at it and take a hard look at it and do your own research and realize what it has. It has Mimblewimble privacy feature, and as that becomes more easy to use and everybody can use it without having to think about it, like taking your TV remote and changing all these multiple channels and not knowing how they get there and how the content gets created, you just know it works. When that day comes, $70 Litecoin is going to look like, look pretty cheap. Just say that. There's not much energy to put into something that has superpowers when it comes to money. Sound money for the digital age. Litecoin, sound money for the digital age. I'll be validated someday. Trust me on that. All right. In the meantime, it works. And you have privacy. And it costs you less than a penny for a transaction. Go look at what happens when the Bitcoin blocks fill up and how much you're going to be paying to move that Bitcoin around. It becomes a problem. And layer 2 is not the solution. We've already seen that. Lightning is not the solution. Litecoin and Digibyte are the solution when those blocks are full. So you might want to position yourself accordingly while you can, using very little energy to acquire those things. All right, enough of that rant. Trust yourselves. Have a wonderful Tuesday. If you're slip sliding on the ice, maybe you better slow down a little bit. You never know. Stay on the road. Stay on your path. Choose your path. It's your path. Don't let anybody else deviate you from it. Trust yourself. Stay away from the vampires. All right, love you all. Have a wonderful Tuesday.